Assalamu alaikum. Alright guys, so I have made huge life changes. I actually moved to Florida. So this video is going to be a little bit of like life update, chit chat, why I moved from New York City to Orlando, Florida. And so yeah, let's get right into it. Alright, so first of all, I was actually born in New York City. I didn't live there my whole life, but the majority of my life I did live in New York City. So when I was younger, I did live in Germany. I lived in California. I lived in Georgia for a little while. But the majority of my life I lived in New York. And I was just feeling like I needed a change. I was craving sunlight. I was, always wanting to have plants in my house and have plants outside, and they would always die because it would get cold, or, there was always some kind of sunlight issue. Even in my house, I always felt like it was really dark and gray. It's funny because my grandparents actually live in Florida. Anytime I would visit them and then I would go back to New York, I would feel like, it's so gray. And I do love New York. New York has a vibe that I've never seen anywhere else. I was, growing up in New York, like hanging out in the corner and like, on the block and, music and all of that. And there's such a beauty to that. Like it's just like part of the culture, like the graffiti and the music and, all the people like hanging out outside because, they don't have a yard. They live in a building, hanging out on the stoop and that whole kind of thing. Like, it's great, but I just felt like I wanted something new. So in no way am I saying that like New York is awful to live or anything like that. It was just like something that I wanted to do for my life, and I luckily was able to convince my husband to make this move with me, alhamdulillah. And I felt like there was no time like the present. Actually, I have two stepchildren, if you guys don't know, Zarin and Sammy. So Zarin had just graduated from high school this summer, and it was really cute. Like, I did her makeup for her graduation and her prom. I did her friend's makeup for her prom, like about 3 friends. It was really cute because my background is fashion. My background is not makeup, but I was able to pull it off. So she was graduating, and we had like no solid ties to be in New York after that because she finished school, and then like, Sammy's younger, and I feel like younger children are really resilient, and I feel like Orlando would be the better part of Florida for us. There's a huge Muslim population in Orlando, and so we flew here. We checked out an Islamic school, and it ended up working out. We really like the school, and we were able to get him admitted. Another thing that's really great about Florida that I found, because that's really important to me. I mean, I'm not telling other people how to raise their kids or what to do, but vaccine waivers in Florida are so easy, and I was really happy about that because in New York I kept on applying for a vaccine waiver. They kept on denying me, but as I kept on reapplying for it so that my son wouldn't have to get vaccines, I just kind of kept applying so that the year could go by without him receiving the vaccines. That did work. But in Florida, within the first week, we had the waiver, and we have had no issues. He was admitted to school without getting vaccinated. We did a religious waiver, so that was really awesome. Just like different little things about Florida I feel like resonate with me as a person and like the kind of lifestyle that I want. Another thing is, like, obviously, as you can see, I can have my plans. Like, I've always wanted to have like all these plans and have a different type of lifestyle. We have not bought a home yet. we are looking for either land or to buy a home. I feel like the market is a little bit high right now. We're waiting to see if it comes down a bit, just so we can get more value for our book. And so we live in an apartment, and in Florida they have basically like these communities. So as a perk in the community, we have like a lake, we have like a huge patio, we have a gym, a pool, and all these things. And what's crazy is the rent is like less than we were paying in New York, and we're getting so much more, and it's less. Gas is less, taxes are less, which is a big plus for me because I'm actually an entrepreneur. So I pay less in taxes in the state of Florida than what I was paying in New York. My husband is actually an entrepreneur as well, but his business is actually out of the country for now. So there was just so many perks to coming to Florida that I felt like was super awesome. So as you guys know, like I was on my getting healthy journey, and the Sebi videos and all of that. As you guys know, also I had accepted Islam a few years ago. So in the last like 5 years, I got married, I converted to Islam, I became a mom of 2, I moved from New York to Florida. Like, I've just been making major changes. One of the really big changes is that I actually had a clothing line, and I had a boutique that I had opened. And I started out really young, like building my business and doing all this. Actually put all of that aside when my stepchildren came from their country to America, because it was just like a lot for me. If you want more background on that whole thing, leave it in the comments below. I can give you a little bit of that story. So yeah, just like a little bit of life update, because I haven't uploaded in a while. So yeah, I'm in Florida, and so far so good. I really love it. As far as like the lake goes, at first we were kind of scared, like, oh my god, alligators and that kind of thing. There are alligators. So far they're really small, and we actually like feed them. We're not supposed to, but we throw like chicken skin or like bread, and surprisingly my husband has gotten like a huge kick out of doing that. When they like come for the food, he gets all happy, which is really funny. Yeah, so that, and then we also see like deer, like these really beautiful majestic deer coming to eat grass. I'm trying to make sure I don't have lipstick on my teeth. I usually don't wear like lipstick like this. This is Black Cherry by Milani, and then I just put a lip gloss on top. Yeah, so I really love like the atmosphere. Of course it's hot, like I was over the New York City cold, the snow. It's really great for people that haven't like seen snow to see it, but when you've seen a lot of it, I don't like the cold. And on and off I have anemia, and I feel like that makes me more sensitive to cold, and I was always like freezing. And even though we did live in a private house and they gave like decent heat, I was always freezing, really. So we don't have that problem here, and we have central air, so we can control the temperature, like the thermostat. It's usually sunny, it's hot, there's like beautiful weather. Another thing is, I have to say, the people in Florida for the most part are super nice, like super polite, super warm and welcoming, super like open to greeting you and asking you how your day is and telling you to have like an awesome day. They're just like really nice. And as you know, I'm sure you've seen like movies, or if you've been to New York, like New York is rough. And if you're from New York, and even if you're not like a mean person, like New York will make you rough. So it's nice to not have to like interact with people that way, or to be kind of like on the fence sometimes, or say like good morning to someone and have them not reply to you. So it's kind of nice to be in this atmosphere. I know like I seem like I'm bashing New York, which is not the case at all, but I'm really liking it so far. We've only been here about maybe 4 months. We finally settled in. I finally got the house together. It was a huge project to move from one state to another. We had to get like a moving company and, you know, fly the kids down and get them settled, unpacking, packing. It was a lot, but we're here. I'm super happy so far. What is another big thing that I can say? Oh, okay. So when you're in Florida,